Welcome back to the Marketing Madmen on Extra 106.3. Nick Constantino here with the Zero FG team. And let's finish up the conversation about NIL. And I say it because what happens when the player is good, has a great season, goes to the very down to the wire, and then all of a sudden now the school's got money that they have to pay the kid. It's amazing how quickly there's a zero added to your bill. The deliverables are now cut in half of what they do, and they have like their third uncle, sister's mom on the contract looking to get paid because they want to be an offensive lineman. So like talk about what that kind of the aftermath was of all of it, and kind of when you look backwards, why you guys were like, all right, this might not be the best way to continue.
Right. Well, when you have a player that does well the previous season, right, and they're going into the next season with more expectations,
and
right?
let's say well in this case is an understatement.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Surpassed every expectation that anyone could have put on them.
Absolutely. So when you go to have these negotiations, price tag is up. You know, as a company like us, we have to sit back and think, like, is it worth it, right?
Yeah.
The deliverables that we got last year, what are we going to get this year? Well, I think, and this is nothing against the agents that are supporting these guys, you know, but they're listening to those guys. The players are young, you know, and they're really just following the lead of their agent necessarily. Yeah. I feel as like if we could have talked to the particular player, we could have worked something out.
Sure.
But, you know, you've got their agent who's, look, let's face it, that's his career. He's trying to make money as well, right? I mean, he's trying to make money.
And not only that, but he's a dictator under the school. That's where some of those other players come in. Hey, we want to make sure everyone gets some love. And, you know, one of the things, you guys, I looked over the contract. I was just, you know, we were trying to lend a helping hand. I deal with this stuff all the time. What was fascinating to me is how poorly legally written the contract was. Yeah. Like, it's like 360-degree use. What does that mean? That he spins around in circles and you can use every side of him?
What does that mean?
What do these rules mean? Like, it was almost lazy. It was almost like, are you kidding me? Yeah. You're talking like a big chunk of change. And you can't even put the time to write real legal terms. Yes. Like, and you always feel like with contracts and agents, it's always a gotcha. And I'll tell you, it's a good thing that I've had to look over because I've caught a lot of those gotchas. Like your guard is up so high, and like honestly, I was this close. I took my LSATs. I was this close to going to law school and going through these processes. I'm so happy I didn't because your job is to be greasy. Like your job is to be vague and greasy, so you can just bill more hours and charge more. And we wonder why society is going where it is. All right, so let's get more positive. So we got about 6 minutes left. What I want to talk about is what the future looks like. So Sarah Lynn, we'll start with you.
Let's do it.
What does the future look like? What do you want to try? Where do you want to be? If you had an unlimited budget, what would you do? What were some things on the social media side that you want to see happen?
So what I want to see, kind of how like Barstool, they get sent videos and then, they post it. I think that would work so well for Zero FG. Me and Brandon were talking about that. All these comedians, or even if it's an influencer, sending in videos or having somewhere to submit videos that's just so many different faces on our page to kind of give away that Zero FG mentality and the culture. I mean, obviously nobody's going to be drinking the drink, but these funny like videos and stuff like that I think will tie into Zero FG. For unlimited budget, what do I want to do?
First of all, what you talked about requires an unlimited budget because nobody's doing this stuff for free.
You're right.
So I think you said it perfectly.
Okay,
So here's the problem, right? Is that because you're now in an influencer world, there's now a marketplace for influencers, and there are 36,000 different companies that all have their hands out to get a cut of this influencer marketplace.
Very
and
true.
Most things, it's going to collapse on itself. Because what happens is most of these influencers don't have the audiences that may resonate. So what are they offering? They're offering themselves. What are they worth? Nothing. One of the things about, we talked about NIL, that player was worth something, but most of the guys on the team aren't worth anything without the big school letter on there, and the school won't let them use that because they have to get their own money. So I think you're right. With an unlimited budget, you can do that. Throwing someone a couple of grand and say, hey, give us a video when you're out, or do this, or we have a really cool prize, or we're going to take you all skiing in Aspen. Like, those are ways to do it.
Trip.
Great idea.
Those are ways to do it. Well, that's what I already know because I got to go on one of those with Monster. They took us out to Park City, Utah, and I got to go do it with like all the snowboarders and everything, and it was the craziest freaking. Anyway, okay. So that being said, I expect a trip somewhere cool.
So I'm doing that.
Jack, what about you, events wise? What do you need? What would get the crowd going? What do you want? What do you want to see in the future?
I want to get involved with a lot of it's, for lack of a better term, more like redneck kind of fishing, hunting kind of events. Get involved with those. I think that our market, especially right
redneck,
now.
I did not.
Yeah,
the Yankee did not say redneck. Just so we're being clear here, I did not say it.
Yeah, I think it just right now our market is people who really every step of their day is more just forced. They don't they have a lot of different things. It's a blue collar worker that's really has to follow a schedule all day, like being at a work site, being at a construction site, and I really think like being in front of them with the like fishing, hunting tournaments, those kind of things, I think would be really good for us. But also just like we say where you don't have to jump out of planes, talking about other energy drinks. But I really want to see us get involved with some of like stunt driving. We're in talks with a guy from California right now who he has a crazy truck, 1,200 horsepower, and he just drives it, does crazy jumps, all kinds of stuff. I want to see us get involved with like real.
I know what you're saying.
I don't know how to word it.
Yeah, what you're saying is not over commercialized,
Yes.
not 16,000 video cameras going, like grassroots.
Yes.
People go out and having fun.
Yes.
I think it fits your brand to do it, and I think there's a lot of them out there. The problem is that everyone gets to the point where then they become their own influencer, and like you got to catch them at the right time, which is exhausting because again, we're talking the risk reward. Every one of them is a risk. Like at that time, what happens if they get too big? What happens if they're not big enough? What's the investment? I think that the hardest part that you guys have ahead of you again is that influencer marketplace is because it worked for one person, so now everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
And everybody needs an influencer, and everyone needs us to be organic, and the world just doesn't work that way.
And making sure you have the right influencer that's not gonna say something that's gonna ruin you, that could just change everything for the company that endorsed them. Because all it takes is one bad endorsement, and then things can hit the wall.
That being said, I pray we leave that world.
Yeah.
Like, I wish everyone wasn't so freaking sensitive.
100%. That's what we're doing. That's what we're pushing.
If you don't like it, don't listen. No one's forcing you to listen to these things. If you don't like it, leave. No one cares about your opinion. And your job to just try to take somebody else down is because your own insecurities and stupidity in your own life. So
100%.
I pray and I hope, because we are at a point where it is as bad as it will get.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine you guys read some of your reviews, and there are people that are just there because they're like pissed off at their life, so they're trying to bring everyone else down with them.
Absolutely.
Definitely that.
It can't get worse. And I say that in watch, but it can't get worse. So hopefully we leave a point that allows some of this stuff, because we've taken a lot of the fun out of this stuff, man.
Oh, 100%.
For what it's worth, a lot of the fun has been taken out. And honestly, one of the things, and it's not tooting our own horn, but because we're such a ragtag bunch, like our tailgates still have a lot of that fun, man.
Yes.
Like it's still a goofy, like people are still like, wait, this is free, I can come in here. So Brandon, you got a minute and a half, dude. What about you? What does the future look like? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I hope over the next year we're going to grow. And we just got a new convenience store chain out of Louisiana.
Cool.
Okay. They as much networking as I do when we go to these different events and we go to these trade shows, we've been able to make some good connections, but not seal the deal. And this one actually came organically because they saw our social media. They got on our website and they called us. They have 59 stores in Louisiana, and we're going in their 2025 sets. So for me, it's about networking, getting with these companies that like our brand, love our culture, see us and see potential in us. The other day when these guys told us we're high fives all around the office, right? And that's what we want to see. We just want to grow. But again, like you said earlier, not too fast, right? We have to tell ourselves, look, a step at a time. This is a step in the right direction because we are looking to grow kind of organically in the Southeast is really where we're trying to grow. We get over in Louisiana, and they actually, now we're with a distributor there that's in Mississippi. So, we're starting to cover the Southeast, and that is where I would like to see Zero FG by the end of 2025 as we've just grown throughout this region of the country. So
so my only recommendation is to continue to make yourself. So for example, right? So at a tailgate, you've met the Heaven Hill guys, for example. Get with those Heaven Hill guys, get a recipe to make with bourbon. Make sure you integrate in your market, right? Because if you're sitting there thinking the Atlanta things are going to work in Kentucky, world doesn't work.
It's a whole different, it's a whole different market.
These things are very different. And as much as in Atlanta we like to think we're the cultural hub of everything, and to an extent we are, this is still a big city, some Kentucky folk, right? Like it's a different thing. So how do we do horse racing? How do we make a mule or something? A mule with it. All those things are things people forget about because their eyes are on this big, huge scaling prize. But if you really want to make it, you got to localize and you got to get involved in that stuff. Like, who knows what the answer is? Maybe there's jockeys that need to kick that horse a little faster, whatever the hell they do. Who knows what it is? Who knows? I think you can pass. I think we might make you a jockey for one of the social media posts.
What is a jockey?
Oh, gosh.
Have you never watched a horse race? Oh, you know what? That was such a bad question. We're going to end on that. MadMen on Extra 106.3. We'll catch you next week.
I'm not media trained.
What is a jockey?